For creating a website, we have multiple options, but the most common thing in all of these different methods is a computer. So the first thing that we need is a computer in which we could put our website, and then everyone could access our files in the computer using the World Wide Web. You saw that we said this is a web server. This is nothing but just a computer which may or may not have enough resources to process all the requests and give out the related responses. So the first method that we have is that we use our own computer to be a web server. As we said, first of all, we need to install a web server application like the Apache. Apache would be HTTP implementation, so it completely knows to talk using HTTP. And then we would code our different web pages and create our website. Because Apache is installed on our computer, our computer would use the Apache would use the port number 80, which is the default port for HTTP, and so our operating system would act as a web server which other people could access our website using their browser. But using this method, there are some defects. The main one is that imagine 1,000 persons want to access our website. They would send all of their requests to our router. We said that all the requests should go to the router of the destination website's network, and then the router would forward them to the related website's operating system. So in this case, our router, which is a normal router, and our system is a normal system, wouldn't be able to process all of those requests, which comes for other methods. Other things is that there are a lot of different organizations that they have created some other computers which have much better resources to process all the requests. So one way is to go to this organization and ask them to rent their computers, as we know them as web servers. There are multiple popular websites which I want to show them to you. One of them, for example, is GoDaddy in here, which is so popular. We could go in here and ask for different kind of web servers, or other one is HostGator. In here is another one, webhost.com, I think. All of these things have something in common, that in most of them you have three options. One of them is shared hosting, which is the cheapest one. The other is VPS, or virtual private server, and the other is dedicated server. What we mean by all of these things, so if you go in here, you see the hosting. You could click on different things. It says web hosting. You could go to it, and then you see different kind of web hosting, as I said, like the shared hosting, VPS, or dedicated ones. And as you see, for example, monthly just $5 would be enough. So let's just check this out. For example, or this one, $7.99. It gives you a web server. You could create unlimited websites for them, for example, or with a limited storage. Actually, this is not completely right. All of them has limited storage, for example, 10 gigabyte or more or less. Or to another side, you could just go to the, you see web hosting we have in here, VPS and dedicated server. You have other things like WordPress hosting, which I don't want to talk about them. But in here, what it means is that, for example, I think you can completely see it. So if we go in here, I think now this is web hosting, VPS, and dedicated. In the dedicated servers, you just ask for a completely separate computer to be rented to you. So in this case, which it is actually more expensive than others. For example, this one is $89 in a month, and if you look, using this thing, you would have a CPU which is 4-core, 8 GB of RAM, 1 TB of hard. You could put as much as 1 TB information in your website. So all the things that you create would go in a server, in a computer that you have bought from this website. and then when people type your domain name, they would be directed to your website, which is actually on one of these computers in here, so that these computers, because they could process all different requests, so they could get the related responses. And how could you put your website into these computers? Well, when you sign up for them, you would get a username and a password, and then you could just connect to it using SSH or Telnet and do everything that you want. Usually in 95%, the destination operating system in the remote computer or server is Linux. That's why we are going to use Linux in our course. So if you look, we have dedicated server, and then we have, other than dedicated server, we have VPS. As I said, I'm not gonna advertise for these websites. I just go switch on different websites, HostGator, GoDaddy, WebHost, or other things. Another one in here is the VPS. In VPS, in a separate server with powerful resources, the VMware or VirtualBox has been installed, and a couple of different operating systems have been created in that one single computer. And then instead of dedicating all the computer to you, one of these virtual servers would be dedicated to you. There are not much difference with the dedicated between the VPS and dedicated, but there are a lot of difference between VPS dedicated and the shared hosting in here. So in the shared hosting, you and a lot of other people may use the same VPS or virtual private server to serve your website. In this case, most of the configuration has been done. That's why it is recommended for those who are just amateur that want to just create a website for the first time. It's better that they use the web hosting or shared hosting. Now in the VPS or dedicated, you just imagine that you have a computer at a remote location, so everything should be done by you. You should connect to it and create a website. Before being able to create a website, you should have some networking knowledge to do the configuration, which, as you would see in the next lecture, we are going to teach all of these things to you. For example, in the VPS or dedicated, first you need to make your computer, remote computer or the remote server, to act as a web server. So the first thing you need is to install the Apache, or other kind of web servers applications. While in the web hosting, everything has been done, and Apache or other kind of web server applications have been already installed. So as you see, in the VPS or dedicated, you have much more control, but it needs a more technical knowledge for you to start. Now, in this website, www.webhost.com, I have already signed up in here, which is free. In most of this website that I said, it is a free trial. There is a free trial for you, but in here I have signed up in here. After you have signed up, you could go to the sign in here. I just want to show you, and sign up isn't anything important. You just create a domain name for you and a username and a password in here. So in this page, I could log into my account using the email or password, or using one of these things. I signed up using the Google. So in here, I just click on the Google. So this is my account in here. You see, I have created a website in here. In this website, this is the first page, which says this is MGH site. MGH is my name. So if you upgrade in the domain name, then this would be removed, and you would have, for example, mghsecurity.com, which would be my ultimate domain name of my website. But in all the different hosting services, they usually offer a free trial or a free account, that in which the name of the website would be appended to your domain name, and after you have upgraded, you could see it removed. So in here, if we go to our account again and go to our file, let me see how I could go to my file. So manage website in here. when you buy a shared hosting, this is the exact thing that would happen. So you have multiple options. Then use the WordPress or CMS's the content management system that we would talk about in the next lecture, or you could create your website from scratch using the different languages like HTML, CSS, which is the thing that we have in our mind. So because of that, we are not going to use any one of these CMSs, but instead we want to create our website ourselves. So if we want to go to our website, I think we should go to the to files in here, files.webhost.com, and hit enter. So I want to manage my website. I click on login, refresh the page and try again. So refresh and log in again. So you see, this is the page or environment in which I could do the configuration or create my website. Most of the time, because this is a short this is a shared set hosting, you see a GUI or a user interface which you could work with. In the VPS or dedicated server, usually you don't have any graphical interface like this. You should do everything using the terminal. But in here, if we want to create our website, when we register for the shared hosting, for example, we go to the public HTML in here. Index.html is the main page of my website. Let's say that we want to create a different page. So in here, what we would do is to create a file, new file in here. For example, we name it a1.html. we say create. Don't worry if you don't know anything about these things. We will talk about all of these things in the next lectures. I just want to show you how this works. Now we click on this and we say open. It's loading. Now we say HTML. Again, we will talk about all of these tags and what these are in the next lectures. I just want to give you an example. So then we have body. In here we say h1, and I want to say this is a new page. All of these tags has different meaning. As I said, we will talk about them in the next module in completely actually. So we say save. Now a page has been created in this computer, so other people could access it using this website and the address of this document, which is a1.html. So in here, if anyone wants to access our website, he would just type this file, he would just type a / and then a1.html and hit enter. Now we want to see that what the user would find. So it says nothing. Let's see what is the reason for that. If we go in here, so this a1.html should go to the public HTML file. So we go to the public HTML. That folder actually was for the other configuration. Let me just refresh and log in again. And this way now I want to go to the public HTML folder and again saying a new file with the name of a1.html. We say create. We click on the a1.html and say open, and in here again we say just HTML head and body h1. This is a new page, and we just save and close it, save and close. Now anyone by having the address of our website in here and typing the document name, which is a1.html, now we refresh, could access it. We hit refresh, and now as you see it says this is a new page. So we would just create all of our pages in this, which is the shared hosting, and then any user could see it. But as I said, because we want to teach you everything and even the networking configuration, that's why we are teaching about the networking also. We would want to create a web server from scratch ourselves, so that you could even use your own computer to serve a website and not even buy other computers if you want to. So in the next lectures, we are going to talk about how you could use your own computers or VPS or I don't know, dedicated servers from around the world to create your website rather than using a shared hosting, which we told you how to do it in here.